You know, it's squeaking. Thank you.
It's so yummy.
I know. It looks yummy. Oh, okay. It looks yummy. And we're live. Hi, Julie.
Okay.
How you doing?
Hey Hayden, how are you doing? Wow. So, hi everyone.
And we're live.
Welcome to our
Hi.
weekly book club. And yep, you've got Hayden and myself, and we have a live guest. We have Hayden's mum. You may not be able to see her, but she's there. Hi, Gary.
Hello.
And she's gonna be.
And then if anyone else is watching us on the live stream, welcome. The book club that we're doing is really cool. It's called Get Out of Debt, Stay Out of Debt, and Live Prosperity.
Prosperous.
Oh, okay, thank you.
Yes, no problem. I'm here to contribute. Yes. Yes. By Gerald Mundis.
So this is... Yeah, go on.
By Gerald Mundis. And this is, as I've stated in a previous episode, this is his third edition we're reading. Well, I'm reading his third edition. I think you have his second. So, yeah.
Yeah, I'm definitely on... Sorry, I just saw smoke coming up and I'm looking, where's that coming from? I'm reading the second version of the book.
Yes.
So, it's really good. So, we're going to start off tonight about I don't understand money. And I know when I actually opened my Kindle tonight and it popped, it popped open straight to this page. So let's do a bit of reading. So Hayden's our lovely reader. And then we'll start asking questions, and if Kerry wants to jump in and ask any questions from us, and then we'll see where it leads with I don't understand money.
I don't understand money. I don't understand money. You might think you don't understand money, but that's not true. What you don't understand is the world economy. Neither does anyone else, though. Or maybe it's the complexities of high finance you don't understand. Not many do. Forget about economies, forget about subordinated debentures and cotton futures. Money is nothing but a medium of exchange. It's a symbol. You give your employer time, equaling work, and he gives you money. You give your retailer money, equal value, and he gives you a television set. That's all there is to it. There's no mystery or magic about money. Its function is to simply make life easier. I don't have to haul around my herd of cows or wagons of salt.
Can we just stop there? Can we just stop there? That is so good. Its function is to simply to make life easier.
That's cool you say that. I didn't even get that from it. Yeah.
Wow, when you said that.
Yeah.
Yeah, keep going. That's really cool.
Okay, where was I? Wagons of salt when I want to buy something. I can give you currency or a check instead. When you confuse your personal money with the science of economics and the business of finance, you complicate the issue so badly it becomes a source of intimidation and fear. You tell yourself you can't possibly understand it, that it's hopeless to try, that it's all the provenance of other people. That's not true. Anyone who has mastered grade school arithmetic or who can push the buttons on a simple calculator has all the technical mastery she needs to understand her personal money. When the going gets tough, the tough go shopping. Wow, that doesn't bring anything up, I'm sure.
Well, let's read and say, let's read a little bit more information and see if we can change things.
Yeah.
And see if there's any techniques that you can actually use.
Yeah.
Or I think a lot of this is information first, and then the techniques come in. So let's get the information, and let's see if we can change anything tonight.
A lot of where we're reading from is actually like it's showing you the places where you debt yourself and what excuses and reasons and um, justifications we have for why we're suddenly in debt and why we can't get out of debt. And yes, I had stuff come up here as well. So if you find that one of these pops on you, that happens. Like, I saw myself a lot here.
Yeah.
And did you see yourself here as well, Julie? Or at least where you've done debting?
Yep.
Yep.
Yep. I definitely see myself there. And not just with money.
Mm.
Like when you talk about a self-debtor,
Mm.
like that's like, taking stuff away from you.
Yeah.
Taking not honoring you is self-debting. That's in my book. So let's keep reading.
When the going gets tough, the tough go shopping. You use money as a mood changer. You go shopping, you buy and spend, not for any realistic reason, but on an emotional basis. Tony feels blue. She's listless and low energy. Nothing seems worthwhile. She can't break out of it. Go buy yourself something pretty, a friend tells her. That'll cheer you up. So she goes downtown to Saks Fifth Avenue and charges a $200 silk blouse, a $90 skirt to go with it, and $55 worth of cosmetics. And sure enough, she feels a lot better. Frank's divorced. He misses his kids. He's living in a studio apartment. It's empty and too quiet. He's begun to date, but he's still lonely. He bought a new computer and powerful visual design software for $3,500 to give himself something to do on nights when he's home. It helped for a while. He spent $1,700 upgrading his sound system. He likes that, especially in the morning when he's getting ready to go to work. The weekdays are more or less okay, but weekends are hard. A change in environment might do it, he tells himself, and some new faces, so he calls his travel agent and signs up for a $2,100 cruise to the Caribbean. I'll go through one more of these like people's stories here, and then I'll jump to the next. Bob rarely feels lonely. He's active in sports and belongs to social organizations, but there's not much really real love in his life. When awareness of that breaks through, he feels hollow and without purpose. But he knows how to make the emptiness go away. He goes out and buys a new suit and a couple of new ties, or some shoes, or replaces a piece of furniture. Last month, when the woman he was dating broke up with him, he went out and bought new skis, new boots, and an entire new wardrobe.
Can I say, it was funny, I used to, every time a partner would break up with me or a boyfriend would break up with me, I'd go and get my hair done.
Yeah.
I'd get a new colour, or I'd get a different cut or something like that. So, yeah.
Well,
yeah, I can really vouch for this.
How often has money been this thing we throw around to actually have to change our moods and things like that? And that's the one thing that we know will work because we're pouring our resources into that. I'm not sure if that came out correctly, but you know what I mean?
Yeah, I can hear, like, you're pouring money into something so you will feel better.
Yeah.
Really, is it short-lived? I know when I did that, it was great. Something different, took my mind off what was I thinking was something wrong.
Yeah.
And then, put more money into something, so it was just like filling into your mood, like you're saying. It's that resource filler. Yeah, really cool way to put it. Can we go into, I like what it just said here.
Oh, okay.
Everyone has these feelings, so no one's like them, so we rid them out. Others tries to change them. There are infinite numbers of ways you can change them. You can work out in a gym, calling a friend, going dancing, building a model ship, catching a movie. But when you constantly buy and spend to pull yourself out of depression, or when you're on your own, when you're feeling lonely as a substitute for love, as a reward, or to get out of boredom, you are moving steadily towards death. And I can see that over the life when I felt something's wrong with me. And how many people use it with food too?
Yeah.
Something's going on, I'll go out and eat at McDonald's or Hungry Jack's, or I'll
Yeah.
go to a restaurant. So, yeah, that's just really actually using money as a, a substitute than having a look at, oh, what's really going on.
Yeah.
So it's using money as a substitute, and then it turns it into self towards debt. So the next one is I'm entitled. I
Mm-hmm.
want to read that.
Yeah, I'll read that. For some reason, any reason in the world, life owes you. You deserve that designer dress. You're entitled to charge that vacation in Hawaii. That's why you deserve it. This is why you're entitled. You sweat your tail off at the shop. You're home all day with 2 young children. You had a rotten childhood. You worked 18 hours a day for practically nothing when you were an intern. You stayed married.
Oh, I love that one. Stay married. Oh, my mum and dad did that. So you stay married. That's
How often do people just use that as a reward? Like, I get to go into debt because I'm married still. Good
I
job,
know.
me.
I love the next one. You bought everyone else presents.
You got divorced.
I like that. You got sick.
You were sick. You met your deadline.
Yeah, you were sick. Yep, and you got fired. Oh, yeah.
Oh my god, the amount of times I'm 20 that the you got fired stuff comes up, like, woo, you got fired from your crappy job. Yeah, let's go get wasted for 3 days straight.
Oh, I love this one. You got a raise. So let's go and spend big.
Let's put that sucker
I
in
love
debt.
this one. I love this one. You went through an awful weekend with your parents. Oh, I love this one. Your spouse doesn't understand you.
Your daughter doesn't need orthodontics after all. So you- We're just gonna laugh for 15 minutes.
Oh, I love this. What's the next one? What's the one about the car? Oh, you totaled your car. So let's go and spend more money. I love this. Your picture was in the paper.
The government got their
The government got their
piece. You want
piece.
yours.
You want yours. Oh, I love this one. You suffered a lot.
Everyone else does it.
Everyone else does it.
You, I had to work over the weekend.
You've had, oh, I love this.
Oh.
You've had to work over the weekend.
You caught your lover in bed with someone else. Your dog had puppies.
or your lover caught you in bed with someone else.
Wow, I didn't think of that. People give themselves presents after that? Wow.
What about, yeah. Yes.
And get divorced.
Yeah.
You don't have puppies.
Life is tough.
Um,
You were
your life
elected
is tough.
Phi Beta Kappa. I don't know what that is, but that's awesome. We're all gonna die anyway.
You were elected.
Whoa.
Oh, we're all going to die anyway. Then we have to buy presents.
That's interesting, because that brings up, like, debt with more than money for me. Because I remember someone said that to me with, like, everything. Because, I'm going to get real here. They were, like, hardcore drug users, and they're like, we've all got to die some way. So that's a form of debting yourself. Not to money, but completely different. Yeah. It's a damn fine day. You truly are a good person. The list is literally endless. When you spend because you feel you're entitled, any reason on earth will do.
I think the one I love the best is that your lover finds you in bed with someone else. I love how I just turned that one, like, you find your lover in bed. Well, what if they find you in bed with the lover?
Add on to that, imagine how many other excuses from that list could be on with that one as well. Like, you find yourself with your lover in their bed, but they're with their lover in another bed. You sort of just wheel into the same room.
Oh, just watch it, and then you're entitled to have more presents.
Yeah. You just go shopping at Target afterwards. You're like, we're gonna both go get presents. Love you, honey. Let's get married.
And let's put a motor on the bed so the beds can zoom out.
Remember when we were talking about debt?
Oh, I love it. I love that.
A dime and a
I
sandwich.
love that you're laughing. Okay, the dime and the sandwich. I'm gonna read. Yeah, go on.
Go for it. Yeah, I'll let you read if you like.
No, you can read. I'm
Oh.
happy. I'm happy to laugh.
You're not worth much, and you never were. You have little or nothing to show for your life. You're not intelligent, you don't have a lot of character, other members of your family are embarrassed by you or feel sorry for you. You don't have drive, you can't stick with it, you're not qualified for much, something's missing inside, you fake your way through. At 35, Peggy wasn't carrying a large debt when she began this program, less than $4,400, but she'd been in debt most of her adult life. She was living in a tiny studio apartment. Her possessions were shabby. She bought most of her clothes secondhand, yet she had a master's degree in English and had taught at a university in her early 20s while she studied for a doctorate. She was an intelligent woman, but she had little belief in herself and no sense of self-worth. She left the university and drifted from job to job in a downward slide until she ended up where she thought she belonged, checking coats in a nightclub for $315 a week. Whew.
Oh wow.
Wow,
Oh, whoa.
That's
That's not a lot of
This
charge.
was-
How many people are choosing that in their lives?
well, this was one that actually came up for me, because I know I used to do this a lot, was, I can't do this, I'm not worth this, like, so this changed a lot to be like, oh, wow, just to look at this. Subconsciously, she had impoverished herself as a demonstration of her worthlessness, and minimal survival was all she deserved. Survival.
Us. Survival again.
Yeah, that's the survival, not thrival. Yeah. It was difficult.
Keep reading. This is an awesome book.
Yeah. Go. If you're just listening in, go read the book. It's amazing. Like, you'll laugh your pants off like we just did. And it brings up a lot.
It brings up a lot, and it's like, I love us being willing to do it live and read the book.
Yeah.
And really bring laughter.
Yeah.
Like, Simone Millicent from Joy of Business has just, written a new book, Getting Out of Debt Joyfully.
Yeah.
And, what if it is about looking at the insanities about being in debt and having a debt or not being able to get out of debt?
Yeah.
And what if you put, like what we just did, a lot of joy, a lot of, like, ooh, laughing, like, going that. So what if it's not about the significance or the wrongness or even, oh, I'm so good because I'm not in debt? What if it's just being so present that, okay, this is where I am, and then bring the energy of the, being joyfully with it. And that's what we just showed.
Yeah.
That was really cool. What were you gonna say?
Well, what popped up when you said that was, what if getting out of debt can be joyful as well? Like, it doesn't have to be this hard slog to get out of this grey area.
That's really cool, because, and that's the book that Simone Millicent, wrote.
Yeah.
Is, well, what if it is joyful coming out? Joyful getting out of debt. And what if this book is about it's joyful? And what we've been the energy of joyful and silly and having a great laugh and saying, how cool is this?
Yeah.
Look at your debt. When you're so stressed out and you're panicking and like that, it's not really fun. But having the joy we've just had and looking at talking about death, it's fun. So let's Continue reading.
Where was I? It was difficult for her to recognize and accept what she'd done to herself. Even after she began an upward climb in the program and had tripled her income, she continued to keep herself in reduced circumstances for nearly a year, spending her money on cabs, movies, and meals out, leaving herself nothing to show for it. A subconscious belief that you're worthless results in self-sabotage. You screw up jobs and lose them. You quit before your salary is increased or before you can be promoted. You're comfortable working only for minimum wages. If you do have more money than is compatible with this belief, you spend it, either recklessly or compulsively, until it's gone and you've left once again with nothing but a dime and a sandwich. Cool. So, my question to the audience, is there anyone else out there that would like to choose something like a bit more than a dime and a sandwich? Like, maybe we could step up to 2 sandwiches and $1. Like, how cool would that be?
What about 5 sandwiches and $2?
Oh my god! The possibilities are limitless!
So I'll read the title. I love you when you're so silly. I'll read the title.
Yeah.
So look at me, Mama. I'm on top of the world.
Funny how we read this right next to my mum as well. Thanks, Mum. Grandiose.
What did I know about getting your mum sitting right next to? What did we know about having your mum sitting with us in the show?
Oh, well.
Yeah, no.
Grandiosity and spending for status are high dives into a pool of red ink. There's nothing wrong with desiring the finest and best in life, but that has to be matched realistically against available funds. The Lexus GS is a terrific car. It also costs $52,500 to buy. If you need a new car and like the Lexus, if you have the money and aren't carrying any debt, terrific, buy it and enjoy it. But if you're burdened with debts and scrambling for money every couple of months, a Honda at $19,500 will get you where you're going just as well. And spending $33,000 less is going to help you get out of debt sooner. And the sooner you're out of debt, the sooner you'll really be able to afford that Lexus. I'll continue, yeah. Harriet is a freelance consultant who achieved a major income breakthrough half a dozen years ago, jumping from $50,000 to nearly $200,000 a year. Yet she's under heavier financial pressure today than she ever was before, and her total debt is much larger than it was. She's frequently so agitated by dunning creditors that she can scarcely work. She gets depressed, she's frustrated and angry at clients who are late in paying her. Last year it got so bad that she was subpoenaed to appear in court for failing to pay $3,500 in property taxes. Theoretically, the country could have seized her house and auctioned it off for back taxes. Every asset she had was already pledged as collateral. All her credit lines were up to the maximum. No one would lend her another dollar. Yet 3 months later, with the property tax bill sitting on her desk, she had charged a $6,100 vacation in Europe. And the 6 months before that, she'd bought a $45,000 automobile. She regularly threw lavish and expensive parties. Recently, she told me that she always stays at the Doubletree Metropolitan when she's in New York. Why should I stay in a $150 a night room, she asked. I like $500 night rooms. You spend on the biggest and the best. You pick up the tab at restaurants, buy silk blouses and imported shoes, join a trendy health club, own the latest electronic equipment, leave big tips and vacation in the islands simply because, like Muhammad Ali, you're the greatest. Whew. Would we like to chat about that?
So what do we know? Like, I have to say I've never done that. I mean, I am a self-debtor, and I'm really honest. Like, I can be that. I've been able to make money, and I wouldn't say to have money. I'm
Mm.
really starting to learn to know what that's about, to have money. I've had jobs that pay well
Mm.
over time, so that's really had. I was never shown how to be handled, like show how to handle money. Um, and probably, well, I would have told that I wouldn't let my, I wouldn't let my family show me how to use money. Um, so listening to that, there is still like, there's still a part of me knowing not to go too far.
Mm.
So like listening to that story, that woman, had this step, but then kept just, doing that. Like for
Yeah.
me, I know that I'm a self-debtor, but I wouldn't put myself over $50,000 or put myself so at risk. And so that just sounds like really risk taking, like really self-sabotaging.
Well, I was it's not it's it's going beyond that contribution to your life. It's like it gets to that point where it's just deading, you know what I mean? Where it's like it's nice to have those things.
Yeah. And it's really cool. You just said that. Like,
Yeah.
wow. Let's just go back to that.
Okay.
You're not contributing to your life. You're not being kind. You're not being caring. You're not honoring yourself because
Mm.
you're self-deading. You keep putting yourself in the black. You keep taking. So, we've talked about this before, like the give and take reality in this world. So yeah, you just keep taking. So when you are deading, you're not contributing to your wealth. It definitely is contributing somehow, but is it contributing to you? Like for me now, I have this awareness
Mm.
of how depleting it is, not just on finances, on me, on my body, about keep self-deading.
Mm.
So now, like, I'm changing it. Now I'm willing to really look at it and then go, okay, I can change that. And, I am going to go back to her. Like, Simone Millison really inspires me because she was $187,000 in debt.
I didn't
And
remember.
she turned that around. Yeah, it was,
It
yeah.
was like a lot to me when I heard it. I was like,
Yeah.
wow. Yeah.
And she was willing to actually like turn that around. And she actually turned it around a lot quicker than she actually thought she could. And
Mm.
she actually did it in 2 years
Yeah.
with, just things by the willingness. And so it's that energy. And this is where we're seeing where we actually get ourselves into this self-deading. But it's the willingness to look at it. And
Mm.
it's the willingness to acknowledge that right now, yeah, I'm a self-debtor. And yes, I can do something about this. I can really look, I can have lots and lots of money. And I am so willing to then look at different possibilities to actually come out of it too.
Yeah.
And the difference is I don't make myself wrong. And everywhere that I have made myself wrong, that's just destroying me and my body. So it's a choice to stop making yourself wrong
Yeah.
and a choice to stop blaming or having the guilt or having the shame or having anger, having anything about it. It is a choice to go, okay, I've created this, I acknowledge this. Because when you have blame and shame and regret and anger
Yeah.
and rage and all like that and guilt,
Yeah.
it's just gonna get you it's just gonna get in the way. It's distractors.
Yeah.
It's just gonna get in the way of really being so present with what's going on and then going, okay, how can I change it? And my question is how can you change it? But my question I did with me, do I really want to change this? I got really brutally honest with the money, because I've had lots of money, and I still have money. That's not that I don't have money. I have money, but I still have that energy of self-debting. So I know you can be a multi-millionaire. You can even be with lots of money, and you can still be a self-debtor.
Yeah.
You can be a person with no money and be a self-debtor.
Yeah.
So it was really about looking and being really present, and then going, okay, this is really cool. Am I willing to change this? And then looking at everywhere I was refusing to change it and not willing to change it, and then ask that question. Because I hear a lot, do you want to change it? And I kept going, yeah, I do want to change it. More money came in. I was getting lots of money coming in, more money coming in.
Yeah.
But that's still that self-debting, like what the book is saying, was still continuing. It's still going on. And I was like, So then I asked the question, am I willing to change this, Julie? And it was like, oh my God. And, honestly, Hayden, it was a no. First off, it was a flat chat, like really concrete wall of no, I do not want to change it.
Yeah.
And so that was the first step for me, to actually really look at it and acknowledge that I wasn't willing to change it. By actually willing to do that and be that, then it allowed me to start changing it. Because it's like that being the opposite. I want to change it, but there's
still
decision.
Yeah.
Yep, you've made something so real. Well, I made it real and true that I couldn't, that's what it is. I made it real and true that I couldn't get it out, that I couldn't stop it, that I could never come out of self-debting. So when I acknowledged that as I wasn't willing, and then started looking what's underneath all the hidden stuff of all my beliefs, all my points of views about what I had really been holding on to. And that was my next question after, well, am I willing to change this, or am I not willing to change it?
Yeah.
Started looking at my points of views about what I wasn't willing to change. And you know what I found? There was all these lies that I actually was making so solid that weren't even mine. That's when it started. That's when this whole thing about coming out of self-debting. And like, self-debting isn't just what we were talking about. It's not just with money. It can be self-debting in relationships. It can be self-debting in business. It can be self-debting to yourself, to your book, to anything.
Yeah. Time.
Yeah, you can self-debt to time. You can go, oh, I don't have enough time, so you're self-debting.
Yeah. Well,
so you can do it with anything. So it's just what if one of the tools is just being willing to be present. Well, not just change it, but willing to see what's there.
Yeah.
Because sometimes you don't even know what to change, and it's not about what to change. It's about really looking at the energy of what's there. And it's not always what you think is there. Like I thought, well, there's something wrong with me. Back, like, well, nothing's changing. So if nothing's changing, these tools are not working.
Yeah.
That wasn't that. There was like this hidden secrets. There was these lies underneath that I had buried so much that, I wasn't looking at. So it's really cool. And this book really gives you where we really do put ourselves in self-debt. Can we go to now?
Okay. Don't want me to read?
I want to jump. What? I want to jump a little bit. I want to jump to "It's all going to go away."
It's all going to go away. It's like, what's that movie? The one with the red, heels. You click your shoes together 3 times, and
Wizard
all
of
the
Oz.
debt's gonna go.
Wizard of Oz.
Oh, I love that. Dorothy,
Yes.
the wizard,
Yeah, it's the
the
Wizard
Wizard
of Oz.
of Oz.
Yeah.
Yeah. And how many times? And I know I've done that. You know, oh, my Prince Charming will come, or it's not even that. Or I'll win the lotto another time, another more time. Or wow, I'll win on the horses again, or something like that.
Yeah.
I know that is a possibility, and I know that sometimes I can create huge amounts of money just
Yeah.
out of thin air. Like, I do have that gift,
Yeah.
but the debt doesn't go away, because if you have got that pattern of self-debting, you can be a multi-millionaire. That's still going to go away. So it's like clicking your heels 3 times. It doesn't go away at all. But you don't have to do it hard work. You don't have to suffer.
You
You can do it joyfully. Like,
You don't have to give everything up. Like, you don't have to give up you to get out of your
no,
debt.
you don't have to give any. You do not have to give anything up, Hayden. And that's the one thing. I have not given up my lifestyle. I have not given up anything. And I actually have a lot more ease now of, like, being brutally honest with myself as a self-debtor and
Yeah.
coming out of it. And it's so much ease. It's joyful. It does not have to be like, you just like stress.
Yeah.
I will say it. Stress is a choice. And I had the most stress out mother, and and I was such a stressed out, like, I learned how to stress myself out, and it was like, I learned so much about being stressed, and I surrounded myself with lots of stressed out people. And what I've really found, it really is a choice. It's a choice to be happy. It's a choice to have money. It's a choice to be a self-debtor. And it's a choice to be joyful. It really is. It's that simple. I am going to say that. It's that simple.
It's a choice.
It is a choice.
Yeah.
So, everyone that's reading that going, that's a load of bullshit. We don't have choice. I'm saying you do. Because I know for me, it was just a choice of really looking at this and going, it's a choice. It's a choice of not being a self-debtor.
I'm glad you took it there. Yeah. I'm very gratitude.
Yeah.
Thank you for taking it there. Like, thank you.
You're welcome. You're welcome.
Would you
So,
like
Kerry, it's a choice. Kerry, it's a choice. It's a choice to have money. A choice not to have money. It's a choice to give us money, your son money.
I could use it. It would be a gift to me if you gave me $6 million. Oh.
Go and earn it like your mother has.
What else is possible? Not in this 10 seconds.
Yeah, and how does it get any better than that? Okay, so we're gonna go on. So we've got 15 minutes more of the show.
Yep.
This has been a really cool show.
Yeah.
So it's all going away. So
Yep.
could you continue
Sure
reading?
can. And there's still so much of the book. Like, there's so much this book covers. It's great.
Oh yeah, we're gonna continue this.
Yeah.
Even this is gonna take us like 8 weeks. We're gonna continue this,
Yeah, it's fun.
and it's really cool.
You refuse to spend money. You let go of it only to underdress or when absolutely necessary. How can that lead to debt? You've got to be freewheeling spender to become a debtor, right? You have to be propelled by a sense of entitlement, grandiosity, or one of the other gushers, don't you? How in God's name can you go into debt when you're hanging on to every dime as if it were the last morsel of food on earth? When someone practically has to point a gun at your head before you'll buy or spend anything. Easy. Let's look behind the clenched fist syndrome. If you ate the last morsel of food on earth, what would happen? There would be no more food left, and you would starve to death. But as long as you hang on to what you've got, there's still one more meal left to you. The underlying perception is there is not enough for you. There is a siege mentality, a bomb shelter vision. You have to survive on whatever supplies you have now. Nothing more will come in.
I have to bring this up. My mum, this is just explaining my mum. My mum had like 4 pantries full. And I remember, like, growing up, she had, like, cans of everything.
Yeah.
And I remember my auntie Val came and stayed with me in Castle Hill in Sydney.
Yeah.
And she opened my pantry and she freaked because I had all these cans of food and I was stocked up. And she goes, "What are you being like your mother?" Like, you know, like she said, "Julie." And it was like, what you're saying, my mum would have like 10 packets, you know, of toilet paper. Like we would never, I'm telling you, if World War III back, you know, 30, I'm 43, so, you know, back, we would never, I mean, that's one thing, she had everything stocked.
Well,
Oh, so this is like, it's all going to go away.
yeah.
So that's what my mother had the energy of. It's
Yeah.
all going to go away. Like, wow, that gives me such a insight of my mother's life.
Yeah.
So keep reading. This is amazing. Oh, I've got so much gratitude.
Well, I was gonna say, like, an entire generation
Pantry.
lived like that in the Great Depression
And the wars.
and the wars.
I know some people really hoarded.
Yeah.
Like that's where you get your hoarders.
Yeah.
I don't know. I've never met anyone who had 4 pantries, like from top to bottom, from front to back, stock heavy, you know.
The bomb shelter's stocked out back as well.
Oh, I just keep going.
You're going to run out, and then what will happen? Where will you live? What will you eat? What has happened is that you have become an anorectic spender. Any amount you spend is too much. Each time you spend for rent, for medical treatment, you become depressed and upset. You spend only on what is absolutely essential for survival. You ceased long ago to spend on anything that gives you pleasure or improves the quality of your life. You'd never buy fresh flowers, for example, or join a gym. Go to the theatre, buy new attractive and well-made clothes. These are all frivolous luxuries. You're almost incapable of even thinking about them. This leads inevitably to feelings of impoverishment and deprivation, and nearly as inevitably, those feelings lead to under-earning and debt, like bigots, and when you expect the worst, you eliminate the alternatives. Since your perception tells you there isn't enough, you have to borrow to get through. This means you go deeper into debt, and now there is even less. So you borrow yet again, and fall still further behind. Your life is a constant retreat, your circumstances ever reduced. You see fewer and fewer options. Opportunities close down. Income declines to a level of minimal survival, or even lower, where you become dependent on others. Anorectic spending, with its underlying siege mentality, strips the happiness and pleasure from your life piece by piece until there is nothing left. Without happiness or pleasure, you grow even more despairing and fearful and cling all the more tightly to the money you do have left. Increasingly, this blocks the flow of new money into your life. Money is not static, it needs open channels through which to flow. When you congest in this way, when all your energies and focus are given over to defending what you do have, you prevent more from coming into you.
That's cool. And my mum was, so that describes a half of my mum. Mum didn't go into debt. They didn't borrow lots and lots of money. What I knew, like they bought their house straight off the plan, you know, and so the house is theirs. Um, they've had money. I never, but mum and dad, they were very secret about money, and probably they had a point of view that I wouldn't understand. So, you know, so much projection was towards me that I wouldn't understand about money. So I would say, you know, when you describe that, that does sound like my parents a little bit. And so they they did watch every penny that was coming in and going out too.
Yeah.
So it was on the necessity stuff, like, you know, making sure we had clothes and making sure that we went to a good school and all these things. Um, I don't recall a lot of happiness in our family,
Yeah.
at all. I really do, you know. So, and I would say there was all mum did focus about money and you know like that. And I remember like dad had a credit card,
Yeah.
but he only had like a certain amount of money on it. Like mum actually looked after, and the next one is women cannot handle money. Like mum looked after the money because dad had a point of view that he was bad with money. So again, you know, that was in my well, like I have to work, but I'm not really good at money,
Yeah.
and mum looked after the money. But mum had a point of view about her mum, that her mum didn't have money and didn't have food and drank. So my mum went to a different point of view of, wow, I'm going to make sure I have money for my family. So can you see the difference? So that's
Yeah.
still, you know, to a extreme. Where's the joy in having money? Where's the ease in that?
And that
And I
might.
am not making my, and you know, I am not making my mum wrong. This is what she was entrained and got shown and got taught,
Yeah.
and in her generation, and even, you know, Nanny and her family. Um, I'm bringing this up to say there is a different possibility. There's different choices, and so for me, it's like I do not have I don't require to follow my parents' ways of, you know, having money. You
Yeah.
know, I have a sister and she has she has a bakery. So she's like, it's a whole family. And so all her kids are all through, you know, through the business.
Yeah.
So she's got a very different way of, you know, work, work in that way.
Yeah.
And where me, I'm different because I'm going, well, I'm going to change all of this. I'm going to change every pattern that I've ever learned in my life about money. And then I'm going to have the ease and joy with money and get out of being a self-debt. Yeah, what are you laughing
I
at?
was gonna say just money, only money. That's the
Oh, yeah, not only just money, but man.
Yeah. Well,
Yeah.
would you like me to continue? Like I had something and then it changed
Yeah, I was
like
going to
halfway
ask. So
through there.
this is the first time, if you've noticed, I really have talked about my family
Yeah.
and talked about the financial stuff. So I
Yeah.
feel really comfortable about talking about all this. And yeah, like, what's the family history with your family about self-debting? Like, what, you know, let's have a look at your family.
Um, I am seeing more patterns emerge, but I haven't read one here, like in the current ones we've read.
Yeah.
I'm still not quite at the point where I'm totally willing to look at my family's. I'm willing to look at my own, but not my family's, if you know what I mean. Like, and
And no, I know what you
yeah,
mean, because really looking at, like, you're willing to outcreate your family's financial reality. you look at where they had their points of views and really look at it. Like I was, at a state like what you're saying, really starting to look at my financial reality. And really, like I'm saying, I really would like to have my own financial reality than having what I learned from my parents' financial reality. And look, I left home when I was 14. I lived with my auntie and uncle a lot of my life. And then I lived on my own. And then through partners and partners when I was from 17, 18.
Yeah.
So, I really didn't think I had a lot of influence with my parents. And the more I've looked at my financial reality, it hasn't been my financial reality. And then when I started looking at my parents and what I remember about my parents, that's when I went, wow, I've never, like, it's only now I'm choosing my own financial reality. So you don't even have to be close to your family. You don't have to, like I said, it was like, I would say I would have a financial reality like with my auntie and uncle, but I don't. It's actually my mum and dad. When I look at some of the patterns that I have, is actually what they did. And then what their parents did too. So it's really cool. And so instead of blaming and making it so wrong and going through all that drama and trauma of it, like, yeah, be joyful about it, change it, like do something about it. Like for me, it's like, I'm going to do something about it. I am. It's not even I'm going to do it. We're doing this book club.
Yeah.
So, like, would you be willing to look at your family's financial realities?
I say this a lot, but more than yes. It gets
more than you're willing now.
Yeah, more than I'm willing now. Yeah. Then
yeah.
Yeah.
And what was it? And really, what would that look like? Like, what would that look like? Like, really starting to look at your family's reality, and what would it look like to actually out-create your family's reality?
Yeah. Thanks, Mum. She goes, woo.
Yeah, and Kerry, what would it take for you to look at your family's financial reality? And what will it take for your mum to out-create her family's reality? So, by you both willing to out-create each other and out-create your financial realities, and to have a really good look. And when I say have a good look, I'm actually saying being present. Being so present without any judgment, having gratitude with everything, lowering down your barriers, and then just bringing it down. So I wonder, I double dare you, Hayden and Kerry, to
and
really
the rest of
start
our audience.
looking. Yeah, and everyone out there, not just, okay, thank you, you just put me up. What were you saying, sorry?
No, just, and the rest of our audience, like, she's only daring us, like the Glovers here. That's all she's daring. Doesn't bring anything else up for anyone else.
So if anyone else, I double dare you or triple dare you to really start looking at your financial reality and look at your family and look at your parents and look at everyone that you're around.
Yeah.
And then out creating. And like, usually out creating, it's like literally starting to out create that to different possibilities.
Yeah.
And having different choices. Because I know for me now, I really do have different choices. Different choices with money, different choices about being out of debt, and then different choices with my body too. So, okay, that's episode 3. So, guys, let's double dare.
Episode 2.
We did 3, but I said episode 2.
We had a couple problems recording 2. So
Yeah, so this is episode 2. So, guys, let's see you all next week. And let's, for the next week, let's have a look at, looking at your financial reality. And we'll have a look, we'll go through the books more. And we'll start giving some tools out.
yeah.
So Hannah and I will go through the book and we'll start picking out some tools.
Yeah.
And so if you like to do some home play and have a little bit ease more about coming out of it. And let's play.
We'll discuss some of the techniques in here because there are some this book is amazing for
Amazing.
It's got really simple techniques.
Amazing.
Like they're the easiest thing. Your cat could do them. Like they're that easy.
Interesting, Hayden.
Yeah, interesting point of view. I have that point of view.
Interesting.
But go pick up the book.
All right, well,
It's $10 on Kindle.
We'll see you
So yeah.
We'll see you. Oh, and just letting you know, on Friday morning, we have the Missteps TV show. We've got Frank and we've got Maggie from America on the show.
Yep.
Maggie. And in a couple of weeks, we've got some live shows that Hayden and I are actually going to be together. We've got an animal show coming. We've got an animal show coming up with greyhounds and with Viv. With Viv. I was going to say her last name, but I'm going to piss myself laughing, so I'm just going to go Viv. And then we've got Rebecca. We've got Rebecca and Graham coming on to the show, and we've got Lauren Polly from America coming, and we've got Catherine McIntosh is coming from America over. So we have got lots and lots of live shows. So awesome. Until
then, though, that's another book. That's another page turned on the Missteps Book Club. But see you all later.
Bye.
See you later. Thank you, Carrie, being our guest, for being our audience.